The alien patrol ship moved slowly near the cold edge of the galaxy. The crew expected nothing unusual, only empty space and dead stars. But then the sensors caught something strange, a weak signal hidden inside the darkness. The patrol captain, Ral Tor, leaned forward. The signal looked old, damaged and broken. But the code inside it was clear. It was human. His hands shook for a moment. Humans were not supposed to exist anymore. 300 years ago, the Galactic Union had destroyed Earth and believed that humanity was finished forever. Ral Tor ordered his crew to play the message. The screen turned black for a second, then a single human voice spoke in a deep calm tone, as if it never feared death. "We are coming back." The voice echoed inside the control room. The message was short, but it felt like a threat rising from the grave. Ral Tor knew this was not a normal warning. This was a promise. He immediately sent a high-priority alert to the Union Council. Far away on a rich alien world, the Union Council gathered inside a crystal chamber. Leaders from multiple species sat with their glowing eyes, sharp claws, or floating bodies. They listened to the report and then to the human message. Many of them remembered the old war against Earth. Humans had been weaker in technology, smaller in population, and limited in resources. But still, they fought with a strange fire. They refused to surrender. The Union won only after destroying the entire planet. Everyone believed it was over. But now, a single message had reopened old fear. One council member said, "Humans never forget. They never forgive. If they survived, then they will come for us." Another leader argued that it might be a trick, maybe pirates pretending to be human. But the energy signature inside the signal was real. Only humans had used that type of frequency long ago. The council ordered all fleets to prepare for possible conflict. They also told their spies to search every star system for signs of human activity. But while they argued and worried, something far larger was already moving in the deep void. In a far region of space where no alien ship had ever traveled, a massive distortion appeared. It started as a small ripple, like waves on a still lake. Then the ripple expanded into a wormhole so large that even Jupiter-sized planets would look small beside it. The first ship emerged from the bright hole. It was dark gray, smooth, and shaped like a combination of a spear and a shield. Strange blue energy flowed along its surface. Its engines did not roar. They whispered. Then another ship came. Then 10 more. Then hundreds. In only minutes, the darkness of space filled with metal giants. The counter kept rising. 10,000. 50,000. 100,000. Alien scanners tried to read their signatures, but the signals broke. The scanners overheated and burned out. Then the number crossed what no alien commander could imagine. 500,000. 500,000 human warships, all in perfect formation, like a silent storm ready to fall on the galaxy. Every ship carried the same glowing line, written in old human language. "For Earth. For the fallen." The words were like a tombstone message, and yet they burned with anger and pride. These humans had not only survived, they had grown stronger than any race the galaxy had ever seen. They rebuilt themselves in exile, in dark space, far away from the Union's eyes. They created new technology that broke all known rules. Alien fleets near the border were the first to see the giant human armada. Panic spread instantly. Some soldiers refused to believe their eyes. Others simply froze. Their commanders tried to send messages, but the communications failed. The humans were jamming their systems with precision. One alien officer shouted, "How did they become this strong? We destroyed their world." Another whispered, "Maybe that is why they became this strong." At the center of the formation stood the greatest ship of all, a giant flagship shaped like a dark fortress. From this ship, a transmission began. All alien receivers, broken or working, suddenly carried the same voice. It was deep, controlled, and cold like stone. "This is Admiral Cade of the Terran Exodus Fleet." The council chamber fell silent when they heard the name. "We return not as survivors, the voice said. "We return, as the future you tried to erase." The admiral continued speaking with no anger in his tone, which made it sound even more dangerous. "We come to reclaim what was taken. Every world. Every life. Every memory." Then the broadcast ended without a single threat or demand. It felt like the humans did not need to make threats anymore. The alien worlds felt fear in their bones. For the first time in 3 centuries, they understood that a storm was coming. A storm made of steel, fire, and human will. The engines of 500,000 ships lit up at the same time, creating a blue wave across the black sky. The human fleet turned toward the galactic core and began to move. They moved slowly, silently, like a wall of judgment returning to a galaxy that once tried to kill them. The war had not started yet. But everyone knew it had already been decided. The Alien Council struggled to regain control. Panic had spread through every communication line. Reports poured in from the edge systems. Alien worlds near the human fleet were disappearing from sensors, swallowed by some invisible force. Commander Vol, a reptilian alien, stared at the holographic map. Every blinking was a system under threat, and the humans were still hundreds of light years away. "They are not just moving," he said quietly. "They are rewriting space itself." Meanwhile, in the flagship of the human fleet, Admiral Cade walked the main bridge. The walls pulsed with a faint blue light, reflecting off his calm face. Around him, officers monitored hundreds of thousands of warships, each moving like a single organism. The humans did not speak loudly. There was no shouting, no panic. Every order was precise, measured. Cade stopped at the main viewport, looking into the stars. "Our patience is nearly over," he said softly. "The galaxy will remember humanity again." Back on the alien worlds, scientists worked frantically. They tried to analyze the human ships, but every scan failed. The energy they used was unlike anything in the galaxy. Shields absorbed attacks before they even hit. Engines moved faster than light without leaving traces. Weapons were silent, deadly, and invisible until they struck. "It is impossible," one scientist said, sweat running down his face. "They should not exist, yet here they are, millions strong." Some alien leaders wanted to attack immediately. Others argued for negotiation, but the council knew it was too late. Humanity was no longer a species to bargain with. They had waited centuries for this moment, and now every alien who had once thought of Earth as weak was about to pay the price. Inside the human fleet, younger pilots trained in simulation rooms that mirrored real combat. Each one had studied the history of humanity, every battle lost and won, every world conquered and every betrayal remembered. They knew why they were here. They were the children of exile, the inheritors of revenge, and the champions of survival. No alien warship would survive without cost, and no human would give up until the galaxy had been corrected in their eyes. On one distant moon, the alien patrol from Part 1 had barely escaped. They watched as the humans' forces drew closer. The captain of that patrol, Ral Tor, whispered to his crew, "I thought humans were gone. I was wrong. They are a storm we cannot fight." The crew shivered. None had ever faced a threat like this, a species reborn stronger than legend, smarter than any computer, and merciless in their strategy. Meanwhile, a smaller squad of human ships split from the main fleet. They moved faster than anyone could see. Their mission, reconnaissance, but more than that, to test the defenses of key alien worlds. When they arrived, they fired silent pulses that disabled communication satellites and sensors. Entire cities went dark without a single visible attack. The aliens panicked. "Where are they? Where is the fleet?" they shouted. But there was no answer. Only fear. Back in the flagship, Admiral Cade watched everything unfold. He did not celebrate. This was just the beginning. The humans were ready, disciplined, and united after centuries in exile. Each ship, each soldier, each pilot carried the story of humanity's near extinction. They would make the galaxy remember that humans were not victims. They were the force that no one could ignore. As the human fleet continued its slow, unstoppable march, every alien world it passed prepared defenses in desperation. Entire fleets moved to intercept them, but they were already too late. In some sectors, the humans appeared out of nowhere, striking quickly and disappearing before the aliens could fight back. Fear spread faster than the fleet itself. The galaxy had never seen an army like this, and it would never forget it. And in the heart of space, the humans remained silent. No ships ran faster than the others, no engines burned brighter, no weapons fired. Everything was calm, until the moment they decided it was time. The storm was coming, and no one in the galaxy was ready. The first clash came faster than the aliens expected. In a dense star cluster, an alien fleet of thousands waited to intercept the approaching humans. Their weapons were ready, shields glowing, minds tense. They believed numbers and firepower would protect them. They had no idea what was coming. Without warning, the sky split with blue fire. Human ships appeared seemingly out of nowhere, slipping through alien defenses as if space itself obeyed them. Every human ship moved in perfect synchrony, faster than thought, faster than calculation. The aliens tried to react, but their attacks fizzled into nothing, absorbed or deflected before impact. Commander Vol roared orders, but his crew could not keep up. It was like watching ghosts destroy reality. The first wave of humans fired without warning. The weapons were strange, silent pulses of energy that tore through hulls and shields without leaving smoke or fire. Entire squadrons of alien ships vanished in seconds. Panic spread across the fleet like wildfire. "We are losing control. Fall back. Fall back," shouted one officer. But the humans did not give them a chance. Their formation tightened, moving forward like a living blade, cutting through the heart of the alien forces. On the human flagship, Admiral Cade watched the battle unfold. His face was calm, almost serene, but his eyes were sharp. "Keep formation. Target priority is command ships. Do not waste energy on small craft." Around him, officers typed commands, and the orders flowed seamlessly to hundreds of thousands of ships. Every strike was calculated, every movement perfect. There was no chaos, only precision. Some alien ships tried to escape, but human interceptors blocked every route. The humans were not just attacking, they were hunting. The alien commanders realized that this was not a normal war. Humans were not fighting for territory or resources. They were fighting for memory, for revenge, and for every life lost centuries ago. Back on the Union Council worlds, leaders watched the battle unfold in horror. They had never imagined the humans could move like this, strike like this, and think like this. Systems that had once been safe were under sudden attack. Ships that had been considered invincible fell without warning. Councils and generals argued in panic, trying to coordinate defenses, but the humans were always ahead. Every step they took was like a shadow in front of the enemy, predicting and countering every action. Amid the chaos, small alien groups tried to negotiate, sending messages of surrender. But the humans ignored them. Cade's voice came across the fleet's network calmly. "We do not negotiate. We do not forgive. We reclaim what is ours." The words spread like fire through human ships, fueling determination. Every pilot, every soldier, every engineer felt the weight of centuries of exile. They were more than an army, they were the memory of a lost world made real. In the heart of the battle, a single human squadron approached the alien command ship. Its shields were said to be unbreakable. The aliens laughed at first, confident. But when the humans' weapons struck, the shield flickered and failed. Moments later, the alien command ship erupted in a controlled explosion, sending fragments scattering into space. Panic became chaos. Without leadership, the rest of the fleet collapsed. Even as victory became clear, Admiral Cade did not smile. The humans had won this engagement, but the war was only beginning. The galaxy had many worlds, many fleets, many secrets. Each victory was just a step toward the larger goal. Around him, the human fleet regrouped silently, engines pulsing like the heartbeat of a sleeping giant. They had shown the galaxy that humans were back, and that their patience had run out. Far from the battle, alien worlds prepared for the inevitable. Entire systems were mobilizing, building weapons, raising fleets. They had underestimated humanity for centuries, and now they faced a force beyond imagination. The humans had returned, and the galaxy would never be the same. As the human fleet moved on from the first battlefield, the stars seemed to shiver. Silence filled the space between worlds, waiting for the next storm. The humans were not done. They would strike again, and this time, no one could hide. And in the center of the flagship, Cade whispered, almost to himself, "The galaxy will remember us. Always." The human fleet moved silently through the void, heading toward the core systems of the galaxy. Every alien race had begun to panic, sending fleets to stop them, building walls of defense in space. But the humans did not rush. They moved with patience, like predators circling prey. Every ship in formation carried a mission, every strike was planned centuries in advance, and every movement was precise. On one distant planet, a massive alien city floated above a glowing surface. The inhabitants had no idea what was coming. Their sensors detected nothing unusual at first, only the faint hum of energy. Then, without warning, the human fleet appeared above the planet. Hundreds of ships hovered silently in formation, blocking the sun and casting shadows across oceans and mountains. Panic spread among the people. "It's them," someone whispered. "The humans have returned." The alien leaders called emergency meetings, sending messages of surrender and pleas for mercy. But the humans ignored them. Admiral Cade's orders were clear: no mercy for those who took our world. Take what is ours, reclaim what was stolen. The humans were not there to negotiate, they were there to remind the galaxy of the cost of underestimating humanity. The first strike was surgical. A single squadron of human ships descended to the planet's surface, moving faster than the eye could follow. Their weapons did not destroy cities with fire. Instead, they targeted military installations, energy grids, and command centers. Explosions happened silently, with precision. When the population realized what was happening, it was too late. Communication networks were down, defense systems destroyed, and alien leaders trapped in bunkers. Meanwhile, Admiral Cade oversaw the operation from his flagship. The human fleet remained in orbit, a silent wall of steel and firepower. "We do not take more than we need," he said calmly. "The people who remember Earth will understand. The rest will learn." Around him, officers plotted the next steps: communication blackout, supply control, and strategic strikes on planets that could resist. Every move was designed to show humans' power while keeping civilian casualties minimal, when possible. Back on the alien worlds, panic was everywhere. Fleet commanders tried to regroup their ships for defense, but the humans had already anticipated their tactics. A human squadron appeared behind the largest fleet, striking from an unexpected direction. Alien ships were torn apart, one by one, unable to respond fast enough. Every victory by the humans caused fear to spread faster than the speed of their warships. In one star system, a group of aliens tried to escape through a hidden wormhole. The humans anticipated it. A single scout ship jumped ahead, blocking the exit. The aliens realized, too late, that space itself had become a trap. Every path, every route, every chance to escape had been calculated and closed off. "They know everything," muttered one alien pilot, his voice trembling. "They are everywhere." Even as the humans conquered system after system, Admiral Cade remained silent, observing. He was not driven by anger. He was driven by memory, by the centuries humanity had endured, and by the knowledge that the galaxy needed to be reminded. Humans could not be destroyed. They could not be forgotten. Back in the galaxy's central council chambers, leaders debated desperately. Some argued to surrender completely, others wanted to hide or flee. But Cade had shown that humans did not wait for negotiation. They struck with speed, precision, and planning far beyond the imagination of the galaxy. Every moment of hesitation cost worlds, fleets, and lives. As night fell on the conquered planets, human ships continued their silent patrols, engines humming like the heartbeat of a sleeping giant. Civilians who had survived watched from below, scared but alive. They would tell stories of the humans' return for generations, stories of a species that came back stronger, smarter, and more relentless than ever. And in the flagship, Cade looked out at the stars. The galaxy was waking to a new reality. The humans were not survivors. They were the storm, and the galaxy had only seen the first wave. The silence of space was ending. War had begun, but it was only the beginning. The human fleet had reached the outer edge of the galaxy's central defense lines. Entire sectors were on high alert. Alien commanders shouted orders, but fear had already weakened them. Every message of resistance seemed hopeless. The humans were everywhere at once, and the aliens could not anticipate their moves. On a massive space station, the largest alien fleet in the sector gathered. Thousands of ships lined the orbital platforms, ready to defend their worlds. Their leaders were confident, at least at first. They had never faced humans in this scale. They assumed numbers and technology would be enough. They were wrong. Suddenly, the human fleet appeared. 500,000 ships moved in perfect formation, filling the void like a dark storm. Their approach was silent, almost elegant, but deadly. Human scouts had already disabled the station's communication systems. Alarms rang, but no warnings reached the fleet. The humans did not attack yet. They waited, observing, calculating, and preparing. Admiral Cade's voice echoed through the fleet's network, calm and cold: target leadership first. Disable weapons, then move to command. Preserve the civilians if possible. The rest is history. The human ships obeyed like one living organism, every movement precise, every strike deadly. Then the assault began. Silent energy pulses struck the fleet, disabling shields and engines faster than the aliens could react. Ships exploded, but there was no chaos among humans. Every human unit moved as if rehearsed 1,000 times, cutting through the enemy fleet with surgical precision. Panic spread among the alien ranks. They know our strategy. They see everything before it happens, one officer shouted. His ship was already burning. On the station, the alien leaders realized their strongest fleets were falling apart. They attempted counterattacks, firing massive weapons, but humans anticipated every move. Ships dodged without visible effort, appearing behind enemies that believed they were safe. The humans were not just fighting. They were rewriting the rules of battle. In the midst of the fight, a young human pilot, Mara, led a squadron to intercept a high-speed alien wing trying to flee. Her ship glowed blue as it moved, faster than thought, slipping through every laser and missile. "Keep tight formation," she told her squad, her voice steady. "They cannot escape. Not today." Within minutes, the alien ships were disabled, their crews surrendering in shock. Back on the flagship, Admiral Cade watched with calm determination. Every victory was not celebrated loudly. Instead, every action was studied for lessons, for patterns, for the next strike. He knew the galaxy had underestimated humanity. They had thought exile would weaken them. Instead, it had strengthened them beyond imagination. Even as humans won the battle, the Council worlds began desperate planning. Some called for surrender, others for hidden weapons capable of destroying entire fleets. But Cade had already predicted these moves. Every trick, every secret plan, every hidden weapon had been accounted for. The humans were centuries ahead. After the battle, the human fleet regrouped near the station. Engineers repaired ships in hours, faster than alien fleets could imagine. Mara and her squadron flew past, checking the perimeter. The humans moved silently but efficiently, a force the galaxy could not ignore. Every surviving alien knew this. Humans were not a threat they could fight in the old way. Humans were something new, unstoppable, and relentless. The stars themselves seemed to shake under the march of 500,000 human ships. Entire worlds whispered rumors of the returning humans. Traders, spies, and citizens alike told the same story. They come not for wealth, not for territory, but for justice long denied. And they never stop. Admiral Cade stood at the viewport of his flagship, watching the lights of the destroyed alien fleets fade. His eyes were cold, focused, but not angry. The galaxy had underestimated them for too long. Humanity had returned. And soon, every world that once mocked, destroyed, or ignored them would remember the name of Earth. The war was far from over. The humans had won the first major engagement, but the galaxy still held countless fleets, countless weapons, and countless secrets. The storm had begun, but the greatest waves were yet to come. The human fleet moved deeper into the heart of the galaxy. Every star system they passed whispered fear. Alien fleets tried to organize, but hesitation had already cost them too much. Worlds that had once been secure now trembled, and messages of surrender went unanswered. Admiral Cade had no interest in mercy for leaders who had destroyed Earth centuries ago. On one central world, massive factories produced weapons meant to resist humans. Alien engineers worked frantically, trying to repair fleets, construct new shields, and train pilots. Yet nothing could match the humans. The first wave had shown them how unstoppable the Terran fleet was. Every plan was anticipated, every trap bypassed, and every defense broken before it could act. Admiral Cade studied the galactic map from the flagship. He marked the strongest enemy positions, the worlds that had historically commanded fleets, and the planets that held alien leadership. Every strike, every maneuver, had a purpose. "We move carefully," he said to his officers. "The galaxy must see what humanity can do. Every system must remember the cost of underestimating us." Meanwhile, smaller human squadrons landed on key planets. They disabled energy grids, neutralized weapon systems, and captured alien commanders alive when possible. The humans were ruthless but precise. Entire alien armies surrendered without fighting when they realized resistance was hopeless. News of their efficiency spread quickly. Alien worlds whispered to one another, "The humans do not just fight. They conquer without mercy, and without chaos." In orbit above a massive alien fortress world, the humans prepared for the next assault. Thousands of ships moved silently, engines glowing like cold fire. Mara and her squadron ran simulations, practicing attacks and retreat paths, though they had done these drills for centuries. The humans were not just strong, they were prepared beyond imagination. Every soldier knew every possible move of their enemies. Alien leaders became desperate. They called for secret weapons, hidden fleets, and ancient doomsday devices, hoping to catch humans off guard. But Admiral Cade had already accounted for these possibilities. Humans had studied alien technology in secret, learned its weaknesses, and prepared for every contingency. Nothing the aliens tried could surprise them. Even as humans advanced, they showed control. They did not destroy everything in sight. Strategic strikes, precise attacks, and careful planning allowed them to maintain a reputation of fear and discipline. Civilians who survived on conquered planets were shocked, but not broken. They understood that humans had returned to enforce justice for a stolen world, and that their might was beyond measure. On the flagship, Cade observed the next target, the central command system of the Alien Council. The largest fleets, strongest worlds, and most important leaders were all there. This would be the decisive strike. "We are close," Cade said quietly. "Soon the galaxy will see the full power of humanity. They will understand that Earth may have fallen, but humanity cannot be destroyed." Across the galaxy, alien fleets tried one last desperate plan, a coordinated attack from multiple directions. But the humans were ready. Squadrons appeared faster than any sensor could detect, cutting through fleets with precision strikes. Alien commanders realized the truth too late. The humans were not just fighting to win, they were fighting to teach the galaxy a lesson it would never forget. As the human fleet gathered near the central systems, stars themselves seemed to shiver under their presence. 500,000 ships, moving as one, silent and deadly, were unstoppable. The galaxy had seen humans as weak once. Now it would see them as a force beyond imagination, a force that had waited centuries to return, and a force that would never forgive or forget. And in the bridge of the flagship, Cade stood alone for a moment, looking at the galaxy. The central battle was close. The final confrontation with the strongest alien fleets was about to begin. Humanity had returned, and nothing in the galaxy could stop them now. The storm was ready to crash. The central systems of the galaxy trembled under the presence of the human fleet. 500,000 ships filled space, moving as one, a dark wall of metal and fire. Every alien fleet, every command station, every planet watched in terror. For centuries, they had mocked humanity. Now, humanity had returned, and the reckoning was here. On the flagship, Admiral Cade stood at the viewport. His face was calm, cold, and unreadable. Around him, officers prepared final strike orders. "This is the moment we have trained for," he said quietly. "No hesitation. No mercy. Every world that once destroyed Earth will remember our return." The first strike was surgical. Human squadrons slipped past the strongest alien defenses, appearing directly inside enemy formations. Shields flickered and failed. Alien ships exploded silently, one by one. Panic spread across the fleets. Every commander shouted orders, but their words were drowned in chaos. The humans were not just attacking, they were rewriting the rules of space combat. On the ground, planets held their breath. Energy grids went dark, cities trembled, and communication systems failed. Alien civilians and soldiers alike watched as humans struck without hesitation, disabling weapons and taking command centers. It was precise, controlled, and terrifying. The humans moved like shadows, unstoppable and invisible until the moment of impact. Admiral Cade coordinated from the flagship. Every attack, every maneuver, every strike was calculated. Hundreds of thousands of ships moved as one, a single force with one mind. When alien leaders tried to counterattack, human ships appeared behind them, striking with unmatched speed. Mara and her squadron intercepted a massive alien fleet attempting to retreat. "No one escapes," she said calmly, her ship weaving through laser fire and explosions. Within minutes, the fleet was disabled. Alien High Command realized the truth too late. Humans had anticipated every move. Every fleet, every weapon, every secret plan was already accounted for. Nothing could surprise them. "They are beyond what we imagined," one officer whispered as his ship crumbled. "They are not just a threat. They are inevitability." The humans then targeted the central command stations. Massive orbital fortresses fell under precise human fire. Explosions were devastating, yet controlled, leaving civilians alive whenever possible. Each strike sent a clear message: humanity had returned not to destroy indiscriminately, but to reclaim justice and enforce memory. Even as worlds fell, humans did not celebrate. Victory was methodical. Their mission was far larger than any single battle. Admiral Cade observed the remnants of the alien fleets. "The galaxy must learn," he said. "They must remember that we can never be erased." The final act came when the largest alien flagship attempted a desperate attack on the human fleet. It fired massive energy beams, hoping to destroy a portion of the humans at once. But human defenses absorbed the strike before it could penetrate. Counterattacks struck immediately. Within moments, the alien flagship erupted into fragments, its crew annihilated or captured. All across the galaxy, alien commanders surrendered. They could no longer resist. The human fleet moved forward with precision, occupying strategic systems, disabling fleets, and taking control of communication networks. The central systems had fallen. The galaxy had no choice but to acknowledge that humanity had returned, stronger than ever, unstoppable and unrelenting. On the flagship, Admiral Cade stood in silence, looking at the stars. The war was far from over, but the first chapter of humanity's revenge was complete. The galaxy would never forget this day. Humans had returned from exile, and they had rewritten history. Mara, looking out from her squadron's viewport, whispered to herself, "We are no longer survivors. We are the storm." The human fleet moved forward as one, engines glowing across the void, unstoppable. Planets, fleets, and civilizations watched in awe and terror. Humanity had returned. The galaxy would remember forever.